And we have breaking news, and it is the best kind of breaking news. Need to take you to Montreal right now, and that is where 18-year-old Canadian Victoria Mboko just won her first ever championship, and on home soil, no less. Sarah Levitt is there. She joins us live. Sarah, how exciting.
Truly a phenomenal run for this teenager. And just moments ago, we see some people leaving, but most people are still inside. And moments ago, we heard the epic Montreal call. It was ole, 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 ole for Mboko. It was not a given. Sarah, we spoke last hour or just an hour ago, and she had lost that first set, but this is just what she does. She takes a little bit of time to warm up. She likes to get the crowd a little bit scared, worried about whether she's going to win or not, and then she just gives it. And you know what? Kudos to Naomi Osaka as well, who really, really did not make it easy for her. But the 18-year-old was just too much, managed to win it after losing that first set in 2 sets. And the crowd absolutely electric tonight. I would say it was last night. I thought it was nuts. I thought, oh wow, this is so loud, and almost in some of the stands you could feel the vibration. Tonight was 10 times that, with the crowd cheering every single thing she did, and when she did something wrong, they cheered her on. At one point, somebody yelled out, I think it was probably that one Osaka fan said, "Go Osaka," and somebody else yelled, "Shut up!" So there we have it. 18-year-old Victoria Mboko from the Toronto area, came to Toronto, lives in Burlington. Last year, in the bottom, below 300, and now you know what? She's going to make it up into the top 30.
You know, Sarah, this story has, first of all, the drama on the court, has just been phenomenal. Even those who don't follow tennis, I think, have been drawn in. And to your point about cheers in Montreal, there are cheers happening in the Vancouver newsroom here. We have no choice but to be only talking about this story right now. It is a very, it's a Canadian story in a way that other tennis matches and other title wins are not, because this, of course, is happening on home soil. I gotta feel for Naomi just a little bit because this was something that I think the whole country was rooting for.
Yeah, I'm sorry to Naomi Osaka, but she didn't have many fans in the stands tonight, you know. I know that she is a superstar in the tennis world. 27 years old, so still relatively young. But you know what was interesting? Before this match, when we found out that Mboko was going to play Naomi Osaka, we found out that Mboko at one point, or still, considered Osaka as one of her idols, someone to look up to in the tennis world. And when Osaka was asked about that last night, she said, well, I consider her like my little twin. I don't know if you noticed in some of the visuals of that match, they are both wearing blue dresses and they both have their hair in buns. So there's the twin likeness. Now, will Mboko consider her an idol still, or are they now on an even level playing field? But you know what? Yeah, the crowd here absolutely just phenomenal, helping support her all along the way. And also, I should mention, her family is here and they are absolutely ecstatic. Last night we were standing next to them after the match that she won, and they were just cheering, and everybody going by knew somehow that the excitement from the family meant that they were family to Mboko. Right now, inside will be the trophy, and you know what? Mboko going home with $750,000, but no doubt tennis will still remain on her mind because in a couple of weeks, the U.S. Open.
See, I got to ask you one more question. I don't mean to draw this out too long here, but you know, this is not the first tennis match that has been high profile and happening in Montreal. Montreal's a major city in Canada. Am I wrong in saying that this is a real moment for the city, the fact that this has happened at this particular tournament?
You're not wrong in all. In fact, she becomes the first Canadian woman to win in the Canadian Open in Montreal. That has never happened before. Previously, in 2019, it was Bianca Andreescu, another Canadian, who won, but that was in Toronto. So this is a very first for a Canadian woman in Montreal. And you know what? I think I was saying this earlier today, that it's not often that Montrealers will cheer on Torontonians, but tonight we make an exception.
Absolutely. That's great. Sarah Levitt at the National Bank Open in Montreal. Thank you so much for your work on all of this all week long. How exciting for you that it should end this way. It's so great. Okay, now I want to bring back Sarah Caddy. She's worked with Vicky Mboko. We've been speaking to Sarah several times now over the last 2 hours. She's been sitting over there in the chair, glued to a monitor, watching someone that you used to work with when she was under the age of 10 and just starting out in this career. Talk to me about that moment when you saw her win this.
Unreal. Like I get like a little too emotional. I'm like a hyper sports fan, and then someone and you just look at the smile on her face and the emotion she shows after, and kind of a bit of shock, disbelief, but also knew she could do it. She had that, and you always, as an athlete, you have that belief, but when it becomes a reality, it's like, whoa, it's actually just happened. And see how it sinks in over the next week, and how life changes drastically from here on out.
Yeah, no, let's talk about that, because this is a name that obviously you knew her, and people within the Tennis Canada certainly had their eyes on Vicky Mboko. But now she's a name that I think all of Canada is familiar with. How do things change for her?
Well, just sitting here listening to you just a little bit ago, thinking, and as the screen flashed with her new ranking, I think of 25, thinking that she started out outside of the 300 in January. Like, wow. This is most people's 3 to 5 year plan, to get into the top 50. It doesn't happen in 8 months, and so just that in itself is just something so unique and spectacular that's happening to her. And I was saying earlier, now she's in every Grand Slam, and she's potentially seeded in Grand Slams, where, she had to get a wild card into the French Open, I believe, and there she lost in the third round, but won some matches. So she's been ready. She's been performing at these stages. This isn't a fluke 1 week thing that's happened. She's been showing consistency, beating big level players at big events all year, and she showed it to us again today.
She has also, at the age of 18, come into now a purse, a lot of money. This winning is huge, and potentially there's more ahead. What you know of her, what you know of her family as well, because as I say, you've known of her since long before most of us. How does she and how does an athlete of that age handle all of that? What are the challenges ahead?
I think the family and your support system around you is so critical right now, because she's a face. She's someone that everyone, more than just me, everyone can connect with her. She shows you who she is in all her post-match interviews. She's genuine when she's speaking. So people want to love her. So the sponsorship opportunities and the money that's going to come her way is going to be massive. But I think that the key is her agent, how they manage the sponsorship, who they go after, kind of like the values, kind of like protecting her brand, now that she can really truly build her brand in front of the public and social media and all of that. And she's shown us over the years that she's got a really strong support system who is prioritizing Vicky's health and well-being first over the fame and fortune of the sport. I think she's going to do great. She's in good hands.
We talked about that. Like, she's not the first tennis player in her family. She's certainly the first to do what she's done in her family. But that family has some experience in tennis. The older siblings have played. Yeah. I think she's got all 3 of her siblings played, and her sister had played at a high level, and obviously not at this level. So they know the system. They know the pressures that come with the sport. They know the ins and outs of it. Not at this level. This is all new to everybody, with just the amount of money that's available now to women and females in sport and in tennis. Tennis is huge for that. So let me ask you personally, and I don't mean to make you emotional, but this is you you deal with young athletes. You were working with Vicky Mboko before she was even 10 years old. This has to feel rewarding to watch an athlete that you've had even just a small hand in their development. When you see them get to this has to be why you do what you do.
You know, I work with a lot of kids, and I for me, it's, you know, everybody has this dream. You know, and the fact that she gets to live it, and the fact that it's not a straightforward progression. She's had a lot of hardships over the last 10 years, battling injuries and, you know, trying to develop through COVID, life on the road for 20 weeks. Like, we see this looks amazing, but the day-to-day grind is something that not the average person, it's a grind. It's a grind. So she's earned it. She's put in her time. You can see the love she has for the game, and that's just going to take her as far as she wants to go.
Well, and I think she's going to have a lot of fans in Canada, certainly, and around the world who'll be watching where she takes this. Sarah Caddy, Tennis Canada certified high-performance coach. Thank you so much for being in studio with us through that entire match. It's been great to speak with you and get your analysis. Thanks.
Thank you for having me.